Good morning, good morning, and warm welcome to you all. I'm Vaibhav, your host for today. Our topic for today is Mastering Productivity, Effective Techniques for Time Management. It shall be taken by Ms. Pooja Bardia. She shall covering Master Effective Ways of Productivity, Time Management Matrix, and Pareto Analysis, followed by question and answer session. Our agenda for today is virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of deity, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Ms. Pooja, question and answer session, and last closing session. About the Sadgun Sangh. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. So let me introduce our CMD, Dr. Sundar Kataria, designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualification, Doctorate in Business Management, Mechanical Engineer. His experience are Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India's first nuclear power plant RAPP at Rawat Kota, built by Indian engineers, worked as nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the plant. Engineers India Limited, first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High offshore oil and gas fields, mega offshore complex platform, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection and indigenization oil and gas equipment, etc. Det Norsec Versatile, the world's largest classification society, worked for 17 years at various capacity for the certification of fixed offshore installations, submarine pipelines, onshore projects, and personnel qualification, underwater inspection divers. ICS, he is founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body established in the year 1999, provider of total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO, inspection testing, and training qualification of personnel. Dr. Kataria received several national and international awards, received Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE International by NIGIS under NACE USA, social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental and safety. So we have Dr. Kataria sir with us. So I request Dr. Kataria sir to please say a few words about today's session. Hello, sir, are you there? So I request Kataria sir to please virtually inaugurate the session.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. So introduction of our today's keynote speaker, designation and organization, founder of the Blissful Navigator, a platform for mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness. FCA at ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants, partner at Sunil Barida and Co. Her academic qualification, BCom from Stella Maris College, CA, ICAI, certified life coach, followed by certified engineer healer. Her area of specialization and experience are life coaching, soft skills training, leadership, mentoring, counseling, and alternative medicine, energy healing. 14 years of experience, impacted 50,000 plus lives across the globe. So now it's time to welcome Miss Pooja ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vaibhav and ICS, for giving me this opportunity to enlighten all of you about self-management. And in my introduction, you already know and aware of my name. So I am Pooja Bardia, and I'm going to begin this session. Just give me a minute. I will share my screen. Okay, are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you able to see me as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I would request all of you to first switch on your cameras, because I would love to see you all while I'm doing this session. It's very important that it's a session where we are all talking together and interacting together. So I would request everybody, if you can switch on your cameras, it will be really a great experience. So that's just a request from my end. And just let me just begin 1 minute. Okay. So mastering productivity and effective techniques for time management. Now, it's a very important topic for all of us in today's scenario, because time is very crucial, and we are always, speaking about that, time just flies away. And if anybody comes for an appointment with us, or anybody wants to speak to us, we are consciously telling that person that, okay, but yeah, if I have the time, I will get back to you. So time is a factor that we talk about every single day. So today in this session, I'm going to take you through various aspects that, it's just not about the time. It's also more about how you manage yourself. And that's what we're going to learn. We're going to understand the purpose. We're going to go through stories. We're going to understand the ways to master productivity with different concepts like time management matrix, Pareto analysis, meeting management, tools and resources, and most important, mind mapping. Okay. So as we begin, first, I'm going to talk about meeting management. Why am I talking about meeting management here is, when we organize a meeting, even if it is a webinar, even if it is a physical meeting, whatever meeting that we are conducting, every meeting should have a purpose. What is the purpose? Why are we meeting? So we are meeting today to understand time management and self-management. So a purpose is defined. Okay. What is the agenda of the meeting? Like I just shared with all of you, the aspects that I'm going to cover during this session. So that agenda is very important. What is the time frame that you are going to take to complete the meeting, from the beginning till the end? As Vaibhav took us through that this is going to be the schedule of the meeting, this time this is going to happen, and then this time this is going to happen, then there's going to be the seminar, then there's going to be a closing. So there was a particular time frame with respect to understand that everybody's time is important, and if we maintain a purpose, agenda, and a time frame, we are showing respect to all our participants who are attending the meeting. We are showing respect to all the people who have taken out special time to come here. So first of all, I would like to thank you and feel grateful about the fact that you all have taken out time for your self-development and self-growth. Taking out time from your business and putting it for upskilling yourself is a very important aspect today. And it's really nice that people are getting more aware towards it. So if you really want to master productivity, follow this particular purpose, agenda, and time frame, because it's going to take you to places. It's just very simple and very easy to do. But when you have a defined purpose and an agenda, you're not wasting your time, as well as you're not wasting other people's time. So the bad news that we usually talk about, what is the bad news? The bad news is that time flies. How many of you have actually experienced this bad news, or talk about this bad news on a daily basis, that, yes, I want to do this and I'm going to do this, but time just flies. I don't know where my time goes. I don't know where my day starts and where my day ends. And that's where we lose out on productivity. Productivity is so important. in today's time, and it all falls back on how we are able to manage yourself. So throughout the session, although we are going to talk about time, but I'm going to talk about how time management thrives on the basis of self-management. And if you are able to manage yourself, the bad news disappear. And always remember, if there is a bad news, there is also a good news, and I'm going to bring the good news by the end of the session to you. So wait till the end of the session. Do not log out. Okay. So you read this quote, there is no such thing as time management. There is only self-management by Rory Vaden. So like I've always been telling everybody, you know, being a counselor and a coach, I always feel that people are more focused about time, but actually what they need to be focused about is self. So I'm going to share a story from my own life. Each one of us have our own struggles and we find our own solutions, and that becomes your success. So every story has a struggle, every story has a solution, and every story has a success. Okay. So as you see before my name, there is a CA. So I'm also a chartered accountant, and navigating between numbers from being into the finance field to transitioning into a career which is totally unrelated to what I'm qualified to be as a chartered accountant initially. Now, how did the transition happen? The idea that people are fighting life's challenges in day-to-day activities. Even before you need a chartered accountant, I think you need a personal manager. You need a personal coach who can handle your life beautifully, respecting your time frame and giving you the right tools and techniques, navigating you, hand-holding you. I found this Blissful Navigator, which is the baby of my own life. So do you think it was without struggle when I found this particular brand that I launched, the Blissful Navigator? It's a mental, emotional, and spiritual wellness space. Covering all of these verticals together, it was a struggle. As I became as I already transitioned from a career, there was a struggle. When I transitioned from a career and I launched my own brand, there was even more struggle. So where did the struggle lie? The struggle lied in my own doubts, in my own fears, in my own aspects of life where I was thinking, will I be able to do this or not? Just not that. When you're managing multiple activities, you are under the pressure of interacting with clients, counseling the clients, telling them what you do, understanding there, doing clarity calls, doing discovery calls, managing so many people. The one thing that I figured that the struggle that I was facing was not majorly on the basis of time, but on the basis of managing self. If I had to manage all of my responsibilities along with being the coach and counselor and a healer and helping people navigate their life challenges, I needed to manage myself. So what am I supposed to do? Should I get overwhelmed? And if I'm going to overwhelm, how am I going to treat my clients? So the overwhelming factor, which we usually get attached to, how can we get rid of that? By forming a particular management for your own self. I started a morning routine. It's been 2 years that I wake up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. That's called that. It's the Brahma Muhurta period, which I think whatever you do in that period just manifests to you in a larger extent, because the entire world is sleeping and you are awake and you're working on your goals, you're working on your struggle. So you just don't start out with your goals. The struggle was in managing self. So how do you get there? I started focusing on a solution on managing self, where I started my meditation. As I was a healer and I knew how to heal people, I also made it a point every single day to heal myself, because unless I'm going to heal myself, I'm not going to be able to help anybody else. And with going through so many people and with going through so many conversations with different people and listening to their struggles, of course, by the end of the day and in the beginning of the morning, you need to heal yourself. So healing and meditation became a part of my life. Journaling became a part of my life. Setting out intentions, creating those little habits, the small habits that really make a huge impact in your life. That's where I found my solution. I started to manage myself better. I started to say no. I think this is a very important point. I would like all of you to pay extra attention towards this, because we rarely say no. When we start saying no to people, it's a clear indication that we are forming boundaries for ourselves. And when we are setting aside boundaries for ourselves, we are in a position to actually get more clients or get more knowledge or get more better personal relationships, because when we say no, we are not only showing the other person that we respect our time, but we are also showing the other person that we respect their time. So telling no became a very important understanding of my life. It is not necessary that you have to say a yes all the time and struggle in your own life and get overwhelmed by managing so many things at once. Rather, I would say you should just learn to prioritize. There is a very important part which I learned called a technique called MAN, M-A-N, money, authority, and need. how do we work on this money, authority, and need? So identify with the person that you are speaking. Okay, like if I'm a coach and I have regular clarity calls where people want to understand, where people want to just take, most of them come, they take all your time. If you don't have a fixed time frame for yourself, they take all your time and go, and then in the end they'll say, no, but I don't think I'm open for this, or I don't think I don't need this. So you need to know where to draw the line. Find out if they have the capacity to pay. Find out if they have the authority to make the decision that will they be a right person or a right fit for you. And also whether there is a need, there is a dire need. Sometimes we feel there is a need, but there is no need. Sometimes there is a dire need, but we feel that there is no need and we don't come. So identify with the people that you are having communication with, whether the money, authority, and need all are in balance, and what is your priority. Are you in here to just help people? Are you in here for a profession to help people and to get money out of it? Or are you here to just do social service? It's totally up to you. What is your need? Once you have your man identified, then you can automatically work towards your solution. So what was the solution that I came with when I was able to manage myself? I was able to give better productivity to my clients. I was able to be a better person. I was respected more. And I sorted clients who were seeking the same from me, who were seeking management of the self from me. So when I am able to become an example to somebody else, I think automatically things start to work out. So there lies your success. So time management is just one part of it. But to manage your time, I think you should go back, because it's thriving on the foundation of managing self. And that's where my story lies, where I just realized that how important managing self is and how important it is for me to pass on this to other people to get a better transformation for their own lives. So that's the story of founding the Blissful Navigator and being a certified life coach and a certified energy healer. I strongly recommend all of you that any professional is the right way to go about with your life. And you don't need to manage yourself. You don't need to be in a depression state or in a state of anxiety or in a sad state. Every single person, even if they are happy, they need someone who can help them navigate and manage their life. So, you need a personal manager. So as a chartered accountant, you need a financier, but you also need a personal manager. So find out for yourself how you can make your life better and create a better version for yourself. Okay, so as we speak about self-management, on the screen, you see two triangles. One is an inverted and one is a simple triangle. Where do you start working on yourself? What is the order of management that you need to take care of? So you need to take care of yourself, you need to take care of others, and you need to take care of work. So first comes yourself. Always remember, you is equal to you. If all of you are watching this and doing something else, I would highly recommend that you leave everything aside and focus here, because I'm going to talk about something very important now. And I would like all of you to take a notebook and a pen, or just a paper and a pen, and sit, because there are a lot of notes that you will be making. I'm going to give you some important aspects which you can remember for life and continue to attract the same. Okay. So the first aspect is managing yourself. You is equal to you. YOU is equal to YOU. So when you're talking about, when we talk about ourselves as people, we always associate, okay, you as a friend, you as a mother, you as a father, you as a child, you as a boss. We fail to understand that all of those aspects and all of those relationships can be worked out if we first work out on you is equal to you. So here, manage yourself. Then automatically when you manage yourself, others and work will fall in place. How do you manage yourself? Find out a personal prime time for yourself. What is personal prime time? Remember when I was talking about my story, I said I started to wake up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, because through my growing up years, I used to study at, waking up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I figured that morning was my time. It worked with my body rhythm. Now, it's not necessary that every person has the same body time, has the same rhythm, with their body. So identify what works with you. Throughout your journey in so many years, what is the best time you feel lively? What is the best time you feel that, your focus is high? Identify that. Take out time to identify first. It could be morning, it could be early morning, it could be evening, late night. Some people like to stay up till 1 in the night and work. Some people like to sleep at 10 and wake up at 2 in the morning and work. So find out your personal prime time. That will help you manage yourself, because it will help you set a routine, set a set of habits for yourself, sort of 10 minutes habits. And it will create a huge impact on your own life. So self-management is the key. Let us learn to master effective ways of productivity now through self-management that we've understood. Work environment. Okay. So how many of you would love to come to a workspace where it is fully cluttered. There are files here and there are things not organized, and somebody comes and asks you something and you have to go through a whole heap of things but not find anything at the right time. And when the client leaves, or when your colleague leaves, or when your staff member leaves, right at that time, you will find what you were required to find at that time. Why? Because there was so much clutter, you couldn't identify things. So work on a healthy work environment. The physical workspace should be decluttered. Clutter. If your mind is cluttered, work on your physical declutter. If your physical space is cluttered, work on your mind declutter, because it's the other way around. And when you focus on the other automatically falls in place. So the physical workspace where you're working, have it clutter-free, organized, have it clean. It's not necessary that you have to spend a lot of money in making very beautiful arrangements for it. Simple little things, add some bit of greenery, have a small light, have a clock that will help you, time yourselves, have a board which will help you organize things so that, in the instance, you can just see the board and, you know what are the appointments there, what is there to deal with. Have everything well pleased and when organized and noise free. Most importantly, if you feel that you work better with music, try to have light music playing in the background, because I feel it improves your concentration power, and it gives you a nice atmosphere. I usually like to work with aesthetics. If you see behind my wall, there is a bookshelf. I'm very fond of books, so I like to keep my workspace, my work table, where I have a lot of books, so it gives me inspiration. It gives me that colorful feeling, and I feel very happy when I'm working. And happy, you have to feel happy when you're working. That's a very important part. So work on that especially. Then, okay, next, time management. As we all speak about time management, effective time management is all about productivity. Prioritize your task. Set realistic deadlines. We fail to set realistic deadlines. We're like, okay, this will be done, this will be done, this will be done. How many of us go through the journey where we are just like, overstuffing ourselves with aspects because we are not setting deadlines and we're not prioritizing what tasks to do? So one of the major topics that I'm going to cover is the time management matrix, which I also call as the declutter matrix, which I have defined with my homemade techniques, and I would love for all of you to follow. So we'll come to that. Workload and task complexity. The volume of the work that you are going to take up for yourself. Now, that volume of work should be as much as is your capacity to do. If you don't have the capacity, don't overwork yourself. Don't take everything. Don't take all the projects on your head. Because if you're not going to say no, you're going to harm yourself. You're on a mission of self-destruction. You will reach a burnout very soon. And that burnout is not going to help you. Why is it not going to help you? Because although you wanted to do everything, you are finally falling sick, and you have to cancel everything that you planned for. So instead of coming to that reach, let's find out how we can say no, or delegate it to the right people and say no, that I can't do this, but I will find the right person for you to do it. So start delegating your work. It will make your complex work easy, and it will give you less stress. We are so stressed out in our day-to-day lives, more so not because of our personal responsibilities, more so because we are not able to manage and prioritize our life. So I think you should work on that. And you can use the Pareto analysis. What is Pareto analysis? It's called the 80-20 principle. I'm sure you've all heard of this a lot of times, but I'm going to explain in very brief what exactly it is. Whatever task you have in your day, identify what that 20% is that really matters. Now, when you identify that 20%, only work for the 20%, I will say 80% will fall in place. You have to not work for the 100%. You have to only focus on the least. Okay, that gives you the maximum importance. So the 20% is going to bring you the 80% of the result. Now, how do you identify that 20%? I'm going to teach you through the time management matrix, how you can identify that. And then again, a very important point here. We always used to talk about hard work, and then we move to smart work. I'm going to tell you it's not about hard work or smart work. It's about smart work, but working on smart things at the right time. So time is a factor. You may be a smart worker, but if you've not learned how to manage things smartly in the right timings, in the right things, then I think all your focus is deviated. So focus on the right 20%. That's the key here. It's not about focusing on 20%. Focus on the right 20%. That is going to be important for you. Okay. So here we come with our most exclusive time management matrix. All of you, are you having a notepad and pen with you? Yes. If yes, please let me know. Okay, so I would give you exactly 3 to 4 minutes now. Your time starts. I want you to write down everything that is crossing your mind. Don't look at the matrix here right now. Just write down a list of things that just close your eyes for 2-3 minutes. And whatever is coming in your mind, I want you to just jot down a few, at least 5 to 7 points of whatever is crossing your mind. I'll tell you why we are doing that. When we write down these 5 to 6 points, do not let your mind filter. Do not let your mind decide, okay, but this is not important. No, this is not urgent. Let me, get rid of this. Do not identify it with any aspect. I want a free flow of thoughts to be noted down in your paper. Anything and everything that is going on in your mind. It can be embarrassing. It can be amazing. It can be happy thoughts that are coming. It can be personal life thoughts, professional life thoughts, work management thoughts, or how are you going to manage your time to actually, sit through this entire webinar. What are you going to be your takeaways? Any thought that is crossing your mind, I would like all of you to write down those thoughts. You have 3 minutes. Okay, so I want you to write down points regarding any aspect. It could be personal life, professional life, whatever is coming to your mind. Just a free flow of thoughts I want you to write down, so that when I'm teaching you how to identify which one to put in which matrix, you'll have at least some points in your hand. Yes. Just show me a thumbs up on your screen once you're done, so we can go ahead. Show me a thumbs up once you have written. Okay, done, all of you? Great. So I'm going to take you to the time management matrix now. All of you, even if you're writing, just listen to me, continue writing, but just give me a listening here. I want you to scan the entire list of points that you've written based on importance. Now, it may be important to you, but it may not be important to somebody else. Maybe it's important to somebody else, but it may not be important to you. So identify what is actually important to you in the points that you've written, and beside that point, write an alphabet I. Identify out of the points that you have written, out of the thoughts that you have had. It's not easy and practical to do it in 3 minutes, but we have a restricted timeline, and I want to keep up to the timeline. So I'm right now giving you only 3 minutes to do it, but maybe after the session, you can use this activity, understand it, and take 10 to 15 minutes to jot down all the things that are going in your mind, and then scan it on the basis of urgency. First important, and then basis of urgency. The first list, you scan on the basis of importance. Whether it is important to you, you will write I. If it is not important to you, you will write NI. After that, when you finish with that scanning, you will scan the same list on the basis of urgency. If it feels that it is urgent for you, you will write a U there. If it feels that this is not urgent, you will write an NU there. So we have, with every point, important combination. We have an urgent, not important combination, important, not urgent, and not important, not urgent. After you identify all of these combinations, you're going to put them in the grid, the matrix. So you draw a matrix like this for yourself with 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first quadrant is your important urgent quadrant. The second is your important not urgent quadrant. The third is your not important and urgent quadrant. And the fourth is your not important and not urgent quadrant. So I would like you to, it'll look like this: first, second, third, fourth. Now I've given you certain examples over here, just in case you were not able to think about it. This is a few examples for, say you have in the first quadrant, you have important deadlines, crisis, pressing meeting. These are important as well as urgent. So I've identified the aspects. Now, these may be different for different people. If you're a homemaker, the importance will change for you. If you're a professional, the importance will change for you. If you're a student, the importance will change for you. So this may not work for everybody. These are just ad hoc examples that I have put here to make you understand that you have to categorize it in these patterns. Now, this time management matrix is not to be done once. It's to be done at least once in 15 days. Initially, once in 15 days. After a period of time, even if you do it once in 3 months, because you're habituated, it's okay. Do it on a paper and with a paper and pen, because the flow of thoughts is better. And when it's on paper, there's a lot of clarity. So important deadlines, crisis, all of that are noted down in my important urgent. In my important not urgent, I have put relationship building, personal development, employee training, exercise, health, prevention, and planning. Now, it may again vary. Exercise and health may become important for you and urgent for you if you're actually going through a health issue, and it is a very important. So why have I put it in important and not urgent is, maybe I can only spend 20 minutes and that is enough for me. But maybe for a patient who's suffering from health issues, that same exercise and health will become important with, say, maybe 1.5 hours a day. So that becomes important and urgent. But for somebody who is, so the focus shifts. So this will be changing for people. Identify what works for you and put it in that category. The third category is your not important and urgent category. Emails, phone calls, interruptions, popular activities, meetings, all of that will fall under that. Under the fourth category, all your time wasters, like, social media scrolling, reels, your excessive TV watching, binge doing things, phone calls that are avoidable, gossiping, the trivia matters that we're focusing upon, all of those come into the not important and not urgent categories. Now, for someone who's a people's person and loves to socialize, maybe it doesn't fall for them under the fourth category. It falls on the second category, important but not urgent. I have a pressing task to do. That socializing can wait for another time, but right now I'll focus on my important things. So based on the identification of what is important to you and what is urgent for you, you're going to make this matrix. If you all are with me, just put a thumbs up so that I know that you all are with me and following me, and I can, proceed ahead. Can I have a thumbs up from everybody? Okay. Just put a thumbs up on your screen. Great. Okay. Thank you. So we'll proceed to the next one. I'm going to start with the fourth category. I'm not going to start with the first category, because first category is going to come in the last when we have made space for it. Remember, I told you in the 80-20, we'll find out the 20%, the right 20%. That will be a first quadrant. So I'm going to start now with the fourth quadrant. Not important, not urgent. So whatever you have put in a not important, not urgent category, what should we do with that now? Should we keep it with us? Should we do it right now? No, it should go in the dustbin. Dump it now. Now, when I say it should go to the dustbin, it cannot wait to go into the dustbin. It has to go right now. Like, you create an imaginary dustbin around you right away. And with that imaginary dustbin, you're going to take that. Now, are you all able to see me properly? If you're able to see me, I would like you to do the same action. You have to switch on your cameras and do the same action with me. Take that, how when you go to a gym and you're lifting weights, it is a very heavy weight. So you really don't know that heavy weight. It's very heavy to lift, but you're still lifting it. And it takes effort to lift it. So these not important, not urgent thoughts are also very heavy in your head. They are using a lot of space. They're using a lot of your memory, and they're using a lot of your energy. So pick it up like it's very hard. Just pick it up and throw it in a dustbin. Pick it up, throw it in a dustbin. So I would request all of you to do this at least 5 times in the morning and 5 times in the evening, because any action, okay, takes time, and actions speak louder than words. So when you align your thoughts, words, and your actions, you're in a better space to work that out and make that happen for you. So when I'm speaking in my words that I want to dump it now, When I'm thinking in my thoughts that I want to dump it now, and in my action also, I'm showing the dump it now action. All the three are aligned, and the mind gets a message that whenever, so my name is Pooja, whenever Pooja is putting her hand here and throwing things like that, means it's a dump it now, immediately dump it now. After a point of time, this will become a part of your life. You won't even realize, and it's become a part of your life. So once we've dumped it now, we've created some space. Now we come to the third category. It's not important, but it is urgent. So it's not important for you to finish, but it is important for the task to be done. So how can we make this task happen? By focusing on whether can we delegate it to somebody now. Again, if you're not going to delegate it now, you're thinking in your head, okay, I'm going to delegate this, but you have not done that activity now, it's going to bother in your head. So if you don't want it to bother in your head and take more space in your head, whatever you want to delegate, delegate it in the now. So I'm going to take, like I did dump it now in the fourth quadrant. Now I'm going to take it from my head and give it, like push it left, right, front, back, center, wherever it's possible. I'm going to just take that and push it away. Why am I doing that? Because it has to be done, but it's not necessary that I have to do it. If there is a meeting that somebody else can take charge of, I can make that person the manager of that meeting, and I can do the important activities which I'm supposed to be doing, right? So if that phone call can be avoided, let's avoid the phone call, pass it on to somebody. Admin can be done somebody. I'm more focused on deliverables, so let me focus on my work because I can make more clientele and more money and more reach with my deliverables. So let me pass the admin to, it's urgent, the admin work has to be done. Let me pass it on to somebody else. Okay, so delegate it now. Then we come to the next one, which is your second category. Important but not urgent. Now, there are a lot of things which are important to us, but do we have to do it right away? No. But can we procrastinate it? Absolutely no. Procrastination is what is making your self-management very difficult. So if we want to not procrastinate and not do it now, there is a simple way. We decide now. We are going to do this later, but that doesn't mean we are procrastinating. We're deciding now, when will we do this later? So that doing it later, when are we deciding? Now, which means we are setting a deadline. We are setting a time frame. We are telling our mind, this is very important. I have to work on this. But maybe not today. Maybe after 3 months, if I work on this, I'll be fine. I'll be in a better space to do it. But then when you've made a commitment for 3 months with a time frame, come back to the commitment. When you set a deadline, it's easy to come back to the commitment. When you don't set a deadline, that commitment just fails. So if you want to establish commitment, start setting out deadlines and decide now when to do it later. Again, the action for this will be, I'm going to take it from the front and put it here. Depending on my timeline, I'm going to put it in my brain somewhere. And with an instruction, thoughts, words, and action. So action, I'm putting it. In my thoughts, I'm thinking this is going now with a deadline. In my words, I'm saying, come back to me later. You know, that rain, go away, come back when it's time. We used to hear that nursery rhyme a lot. If I go back to it and have to tell you, same with your thoughts, what you need to do is you need to just take it out from here, put it here, and tell your mind, come back to me at this date. Just like how our alarm clock rings with notifications, and same way our mind also will ring. In fact, it will ring to you in a time frame just before that, so that you are prepared for it. It gives you a preparation time. You know, I've always managed myself, not with alarm clocks, but, you know, talking to my pillow. I feel these old school techniques work very beautifully. So I tell my pillow I have to wake up at, say, 5, it will wake me up at 4:45 or say 4:55 to give me that preparation time. Your mind knows what has to be done, provided you give the right instructions to your mind. Okay, so decide now when to do it later for the second quadrant. The first quadrant, the 20% that I was talking about, is your do it now. Now, how many of us have the habit of sitting like this? When we are stressed out, we sit like this, don't we? Now, this is a point of pause. So whenever you are feeling stressed out and you have put your finger here and you're thinking, okay, now this is a pause, you know, I'm feeling very stressed, or I'm sitting like this, or I'm sitting like that. All of these, it's not going to help you. It's not going to reduce your stress burden. It's probably adding more to you because you're pausing it right there. So a thought has come, okay, and if it's giving you stress, it needs to go in the fourth quadrant, dump it now. So I'm going to do this instead of this. Whereas next time when an important thought comes to my mind, I'm going to sit like this and I'm going to pause that thought. So we are giving the brain the signal that, okay, when I put this, when Pooja has put this finger here, when Pooja has put this finger here, it's sort of a pause button. It's urgent, it's important, keep it there. Do not let it go or deviate here and there or divert here and there. Just stick to it. Okay, so this is the quadrant. So this time management matrix is by Stephen Covey. One of my favorite matrix. I have tried and tested this over a period of time, used it for various ways, managing my personal life, managing my professional life, managing the clutter that is involved in a mental and emotional space. It's just not about professional and personal, it's more about mental and emotional space, because time to time we need to dump, time to time we need to fill our cups and empty our cups. Do you see a cup here? If your cup is going to be always full and it's going to start overflowing, it's going to be a waste. So I would like you to empty your cup yourself and fill your cup by your own self. When you start doing that process, you will understand that all these things that we comment, right? The bad news that time flies, time doesn't fly. Actually, time stays. You know, it's up to us how we are prioritizing it. So this is the matrix. If you haven't made a note of it yet, quickly make a note of this matrix. And whenever, I was going to say whenever you get time, but I'm not going to say whenever you get time. I would say make time for this and do this today itself, because you're going through this today. Time will not come to you. You have to make time to come to you. So do it. Okay. Now that you have identified your 20%, now that you have identified your time management matrix, you've identified what is the important do it now. Now, how do we do it? There is a simple Pomodoro technique, which is again a very basic understanding that when you have a task in hand, say suppose, for example, after the session gets over, and if you have a recording and I'm going to watch this recording, maybe it's a 1.5 hour session. Now, how can I divide it into 3 parts? Okay, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, and 30 minutes. Now, in those 30 minutes, I cannot expect all 30 minutes I'm going to do this session without any distraction. Because I'm speaking right now, it's easy for me to not get distracted, right? But when you're listening on the other side, distractions are very easy to fall in place. You know, we are sitting in an office, somebody comes for an appointment, somebody comes with a task, your client comes, your staff member comes asking you to do a signature, and your mind is distracted. It'll happen. So sit with all your apps aside, all your things aside, take out 30 minutes. In those 30 minutes, set a timer for 25 minutes. After every 25 minutes, give yourself a 5-minute break, move in your space, do some activity in your space, or maybe just a little bit of, exercises, which helps you rejuvenate. Or leave those 5 minutes for something else that if a person comes, you can tell that person, show the timer that, in this 5 minutes, you can come and talk to me, but not now. So 25 minutes, work on task with no distraction. 5 minutes, take a break. Again, 25 minutes work, 5 minutes, take a break. Again, 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break. After this 1.5 hours of productive 1.5 hours that you've given, you can give yourself the leverage to take those 30-minute at a stretch break and start again. Now, these 30 minutes will give you quality. This break is your quality break. So if you work on this Pomodoro technique with this quality break, trust me, your productivity and your efficiency is going to just start compounding, and you won't even realize it that all your tasks have become so smooth that overwhelming feeling is completely disappeared. So this technique is a very useful technique, and this technique you shouldn't follow for the entire matrix, just for the do it now category, because only that is important right now. Dump it now, dump it. Delegate it now. You've already delegated to somebody, so that somebody will follow this Pomodoro technique. Decide now when to do it later. You have to do this in a later stage, but for the do it now, you're going to do it right away. Okay, use this technique. Now we come to the health and well-being. Physical, mental well-being directly impact your productivity. How important it is in today's scenario. We are all becoming aware of mental health, and I'm a mental health coach, so I'm going to specifically bring this to you. When we go with a problem, or when we go with a trauma or a situation that we are in trouble, we usually tend to go to family members or our friends, and we think they have all the advice that they are going to give it and it's going to solve. Trust me, talking about it again and again, it's only going to keep you in a victim mode. So you're wasting your time. So if you really want to manage yourself well and not waste your time, understand that you need to go to a professional. Professionals are there for a reason. They're not going to help you be in the victim mode, but they're going to help you come out of it and find a solution to it. Actually, everyone's life has a struggle, but how importantly that struggle they have converted into solution towards becoming a success, and not only a success, but becoming successful. That is where the key lies. So mental health is a very important, and you don't have to be in a bad shape to go to a mental health coach or to, actually take help from somebody. You need to just be willing to make your life more productive. And that productivity comes with somebody guiding you, putting out habits for you, structuring your life, which is so important. With a structured life, with good eating habits, you can reduce your stress to a very large extent. And most importantly, it's body, mind, and soul. So body is your physical, mind and emotional, and then your soul is your spiritual aspect. When you combine all the three, you are at a perfect state of managing yourself, and all of the time factor that we are complaining about just vanishes, because you're in such a happy zone all the time. And a happy person will be able to effectively do this. So I can just go on about this because that's what I do, but I'm going to stop here with that and give you some time to think that, please, if you haven't taken the time to approach somebody, take time out, take a few sessions. Therapy is not bad and therapy is not wrong. And a social conditioning is that, going to therapy means you are, either, not in the right state of mind, or you are just you have mental issues. It's not about that. It's about balancing your emotions. It's about opening up. So take that chance and always approach somebody who is right for this. Okay. Motivation and engagement. Now, when I'm talking about, say, a professional arena, I would say employee motivation is the key aspect. If your employee is not motivated, the very same example we can take is with this webinar itself. Now, ICS, the ISO certification, ICS companies organize this webinar. For what have they organized? They are not doing it for their individual purpose, but they want their employees to understand and manage their time. They want their employees, they want the people who are associated with them to understand that how important their time is and how important their own time is, to respect each party. So motivation and engagement is the key. Organize seminars, organize work in your work environment, create that work environment where people are engaged constantly, and motivation comes from within to them because they feel they are a part of it. They don't feel that they're out of it. They belong here. To make them feel belonged, we need to constantly boost their motivation. You can think about something like, creating an awards for your company, where maybe once in 6 months you're acknowledging the person who is the best motivator, or the person who is kept up to time and punctuality, or the one person who has kept up with giving the task on time and productively organizing things, or giving the best sales. So identify those, award those, recognize them, bring the entire team for recognition. If you invest, I always feel that investment in people is the right investment. So any successful Fortune 500 company focuses on managing people. They do not focus on managing other things. When you manage people, people will manage you. If you have treated the person with right respect, that person will give your life to you to do things for you. So work on establishing clear goals, recognition, boosting their performance, and organizing sessions and seminars where they all have a say in it, where they are able to speak out. Have a forum, have a counseling forum for them where they can come and speak out of their issues also. These are very important parts. Maybe just once a week or just once in a month. Organizing that will make them understand that my boss is very keenly interested in my goals also. And although my boss doesn't have time for me to spend with that, but he has a person who is doing that for me. And I am much more in a position to get more out of that person. So motivation and engagement is the key. Communication and collaboration. I think effective communication and collaboration with teams is very important. When effective communication is there and regular feedbacks and checks are taken, we all work in a very collaborative environment and facilitate effective workflow with the right ways to solve the problems. How do we communicate and collaborate? In today's generation, I think collaboration is the key. We're all collaborating with each other for some purpose or the other. So in that collaboration, your communication is very important. So work towards rightful communication. It's not about communicating everything, but how importantly, how beautifully you made those right contributions in the right places, in the right time. Understand, in the right place, in the right time. That is the key. Okay. Training and skill development. Again, I can't emphasize more on the training and skill development part. The more you work on your upskilling, your people, your company, your personal life, your family will see that you are regularly working on yourself. So if you want to bring the change, you need to be the change. So this training and skill development is all about you understanding that the skill is just not a skill. It's a skill which is making me more efficient and making my company more efficient, because I am the living example of my company. If I'm not going to work on myself, how are the other people going to understand the importance of working on themselves? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this training and skill development for myself. And I'm also going to do it for my staff. I'm also going to do it for my company. I'm also going to help and motivate my family members to upskill themselves. It's not only about technical upskilling, but also about emotional upskilling, also about life upskilling and mental health upskilling and soft skill upskilling. So all of these are a very important part. So provide training opportunities and support for skill enhancements and enhance overall productivity, make leaders and grow leaders out of your organization. It increases your productivity. And work-life balance. There are many people I feel who work any time of the hour. I'm one of those people because I work from home and most of the time I'm doing online sessions. And also I do physical sessions. So work-life balance was something that I had to struggle with for a bit of time. Because when you're working from home, your home is your office and anybody can contact you anytime. And there is no priority of then that's when I told my solution I found was saying no. This is the time. Okay, this is first you need to schedule the time for yourself. You need to make a to-do list for yourself, so that this is how I'm going to create a work-life balance for me. A no is a no. Even if you come after 7:30, I'm not going to attend you. 7:30 I close. This is my family time now. This was my work time. If you're not able to respect that time, it's okay to lose. We are fearful of losing the client. We are fearful of losing that opportunity, so we give in. When you remove that fear, okay, when you remove that fear is your roadblock. It's your resistance stopping you from it. So just remove the fear. You lose one client, you will get 10 more clients who respect your time with more productivity, with more money. So how about losing that one client? It's okay. It's okay to lose on, it's more like, when you're fighting a battle or a war, what is it more important, So please give your work-life balance equal important, because you may be in a sphere of, good health right now, and you may give in 24 hours of engagement to whoever wants it from you. But there will be a point of time where you will reach a burnout, where that is taking it away from you. You are no more that person that people looked up for. You created an environment, but for a very short span. Your productivity was very temporary. So if you want a larger productivity and a larger gain from it, kindly move on from that aspect. Okay. Technology and automation. Leveraging technology and automation can streamline all of your work. Automation is the key again today. Instead of working through your everything manually, if you automate the process, you can be anywhere and do anything. Work-life balance becomes easy. I can be in the mountains and work from the mountains. I don't have to even sit in my house. I can be in the mountains, not work at all, but my team is working for me sitting here in Chennai. So how about making technology and automation a part of your system brings quality and effectiveness? Tools and resources. Having the right tools boosts productivity. So please make sure the right tools are in your hand. Find out what works for you and adjust. Everybody, the tools are going to be different. Find out what works best for you, what you are aligned with, what you're comfortable with. Technology is not to complicate your life. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and complicated with the technology, reduce it. But if you feel that it is helping you work better, use it. So to each his own, identify it. I'm giving you some tools here, online tools that you can use for communication and collaboration. If you want to make a note of it, you can make a note and explore these. And if you don't know how to do this, you will always find YouTube videos explaining it to you how to use these. So go explore, upskill yourself on a day-to-day basis. Take out an hour every day just for your productivity, where you're learning something new. Maybe I learned one new tool today, and this one new tool can help me manage my work more effectively and save more time. Tomorrow, instead of one tool, I can spend time in learning 2 more tools. So I'm working time on my investment in self rather than working towards that. So these are the tools that you can use: Google Meet, Microsoft Teams, and all of these. Cloud storage, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive. For content and email reply, you can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot. It gives you a structured format. It gives you the right keywords, which are very important. And most importantly, it sometimes our language is not good. We want to say something and we say it some way and then it's misinterpreted. So it gives you a right format of language. I think it's a boon today, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot. Please use this for communication and collaboration. Task management, to-do list. I think Todoist, TikTok, Microsoft To-Do, they work very efficiently. Google Calendar, reminders keep coming on your phone. It's synced everywhere. You're on a laptop, you get a reminder. On a phone, you get a reminder. So you know that you're not missing out on important points. How many of you actually set a Google Calendar to be at this meeting today at 11 a.m.? I'm sure you understand the importance of it, right? Additional time management tools, time tracking tools, how to identify where your time is going so that you can control and manage it effectively and improve your workforce. Pomodoro technique apps, there are specific apps for that. There are website blockers to help you focus and concentrate so that websites don't keep sending you those extra attachments and you keep diverting. How many of us feel that we've opened one particular page and then some notification comes and we go to that, and from there we go to something else, and what focused work we were supposed to do, that is lost, that is completely lost. Declutter, this time management matrix is my favorite matrix. It's I don't like to use it online. I like to use it on pen and paper because sometimes I feel that old school techniques are the best ways. So I go back in time, I use my paper and pen at least once in a month. I still do the time matrix for myself. It's very, very important. Note taking and information management tools, digital note taking apps, mind mapping tools. So what is mind mapping? Sometimes you have a flow of thoughts in your head and you don't know really how to put those flow of thoughts down. That's where mind mapping tools come in place. They bring you creativity. So there are apps like Evernote, OneNote, which are note taking apps. There are mind mapping apps like Canva and Miro. Understand what is mind mapping first. It is using both sides of your brain, the left and the right, the creative side and the logical side. Okay. Now, when you're using both the sides of your brain through artistic picturization and cognitive approach, your brain, both halves of your brain are engaged, and you're putting it down on paper, and your productivity is improved because everything is in a pictorial representation. And I think pictures speak louder than words. So when you have a pictorial representation of the idea of how your day looks like, just probably, or maybe you had a theme in mind and how you're going to spread out that theme. If you see what I'm showing you right now, a simple thing, that boy is struck with the idea of how to focus in the age of distraction. I think this is a very important part for all of us. We need to focus. So how can I mind map this? Okay. So maybe one branch is coming out as take time to reflect and review. Okay. At the end of the day, first thing in the morning, what am I going to do first thing in the morning? What am I going to do at the end of the day? At the end of the day, what are the 3 points? I'm going to note down. What will I focus on tomorrow? What did I do? What can be improved? So that's one branch. Another branch would be take a digital detox. Another branch would be managing your space. Another branch could be how to work. So whatever thoughts are coming in my mind, I have mind mapped them in a pictorial representation. And that's the beauty of mind mapping. Okay. Introspect. Am I happy? What are my goals? How do I prioritize myself? Am I taking responsibility of others at the cost of my own? What have I given up on? What brings me joy? And when did I do that last? It's very important what brings me joy and when did I do that last. Joy list is an important part of your, again, self-management. Which task consistently takes more time than necessary so that I can prioritize it? And how can I streamline? These are the few questions that you should ask yourself on a regular basis. I think if you've done the right introspection, everything falls in place. Okay. So after introspection, I'm going to just show you this video, and I want all of you to leave everything that you're doing and watch this video. Yes.
Everyone. We all have this one life to live. Fleeting shadow amongst all that exists in this vast universe. We have the ability to accomplish anything, truly anything, if we use our time wisely. Is this jar full? Is it full now? And how about now? Is the jar full now?
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. Golf balls are the important things, your family, your friends, your health, and your passions. The pebbles are the other important things, your car, your job, your home. Sand is everything else. It's just the small stuff. Now, if you put the sand in the jar first, you won't have room for the pebbles or the golf balls. Same is true in life. You spend all your energy and your time on the small stuff. You won't have time for all the really important things that matter to you. Pay attention to the things that are critical to your happiness. Take care of the golf balls first, the really important things. Set your priorities, because everything else is, it's just sand. Yes.
Professor, what does the beer represent?
I'm glad you asked. It goes to show that no matter how full your life may seem to be, there's always room for a couple of beers with a friend.
Great. So identify what is it that is priority of your life, the rocks, the pebble, and the sand. Understood? Everybody understood the video? I think it was self-explanatory. I don't need to stress the importance out of it. You have your jar and we all have our cups. It's up to us what we want to fill in this jar or this cup. It's absolutely. And all those, when we spoke about the time matrix and I said there is a dump it category. Now this dump it category is only if there is absolutely no space in your jar. If after putting out the important, delegate now and the decide now when to do it later, all of those quadrants, if there is space left in your jar, those time wasters can actually be your sand and put it, it's okay. And entertainment should not be a dump it category. Put it in the last, but make space for it when you get time. So in that jar, you can use that, whatever you think is so not important, not urgent, can also find a place in your jar, but it should not fill your jar first. Your jar should be filled with all the things that are important and urgent for you. All the things that are, in the second, then the third category. And then the last comes the dump it now category, which is going to be our sand. And again, there's always room for entertainment. It could be whatever for whoever. So that's always the rule. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Steve Jobs, I think this is a very important. I think that one of the reasons why I personally feel that, I transitioned from being a CA to a life coach is that I felt that although I'm doing whatever I'm doing, but my purpose, my vision is very different. And I felt like I'm wasting my life just being a chartered accountant. So chartered accountancy gave me the leverage to be who I want to be and what I want to do. So I just don't want to waste my life doing one thing. What if I can help more people? What if I can really, help people find out their life's challenges and fight it out in a very simple and structured manner? So that was the idea. So I didn't want to waste my time just thinking, okay, I could have done that in regrets, or I could have done this. But I wanted to do it as if it is my own life. So CA was important, yet my life coaching was important. So how about managing and bringing both together? I'm going to, I read the Bhagavad Gita almost every day and at least one quote. And, every aspect of our life has been spoken about in the Gita. So I'm going to take you about the aspect of time and what Bhagavad Gita says. So please, yes.
Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushakayanantascha buddhyo vyavasayinam.
Krishna advises, on this path of dharma, you should be firm and one-pointed. Otherwise, you will be easily distracted. Focus on a single task, complete it, and move on to the next. By chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, the path of knowledge. I feel that it's very important that multitasking is generally taken as, a matter of pride. But I feel that multitasking should not be a matter of pride, because your focus is lost, you're deviated. There's no quality. There is quantity, but there's no quality. And I always feel quality over quantity. So be one-pointed. Otherwise, distraction will easily fall in place. Once you finish that task, take the other task in hand. So how do we know what we have to do and what we have to not do? Use the time management matrix. Figure out what is to be done now. Focus all your attention to it and then move on to the next. Like I always say, roadblocks and resistance is going to be a part of your life. There are going to be Anu aunties in your life. I call them Anu aunties. because there will be people who will come and tell you, no, but you can't do this. No, but you can't do that. No, I don't think you have the capability to do that. Or I don't think your time is going to allow you to do that. There are going to be people who are going to come and tell you this. It's how you pay attention to those people. So put those people out of your life. Identify the resistance. Identify the people, the situations, the circumstances that are making you feel that you're blocked, that are becoming an obstacle, and release those obstacles. It all starts with managing self. When you understand that you is equal to you is a priority, you will start paying attention to these, and these resistances, these fears, these doubts, these limitations will just get overcome. And understand that there is no shame. You don't have to feel guilty to say no. Usually as parents, we are always feeling guilty in one way or the other, and I'm going to show you that in the next video. Yes.
Mom, can I ask you something?
Sure, what do you want to know?
How much money do you earn if you work for an hour?
That's none of your business. Why do you want to know about how much money I earn? Look, I haven't got time for this. I'm busy. Go and get ready for school, quick. Go on. Jack, you come down for a minute, please. Okay, you wanted to know how much I earned earlier, and I'm really sorry for shouting. I think I earn about £80 an hour.
Okay, thanks, Mum.
Well, why do you want to know?
Can I have £40, please?
No, it was your birthday a few days ago. Why do you want more money?
Please?
No, I'm not a bank account. I'm your mom. Look, get out. I'm busy. I'm not a bank. Jack? Look, Jack, I'm sorry about earlier. I was just a bit stressed, that's all.
It's okay, Mum.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
That's okay, honey. What are you going to do with the money? Jack. Jack, what on earth do you need all that money for?
I'd like to buy an hour of your time, please.
Mhm. Yes, time is very precious, and it was quite an emotional video. And I think as parents, we all face this, where our children are struggling for our time. Remember, everything else can wait, but priorities in your important category, in your that 20% of doing the right things, a few percentage, I mean, something should be allotted to your personal life, your personal space, and your family time. Your kids are very important. They will grow up fast, and they may not need you later, but when they need you, they really need you. So it's not about spending an entire day, 24 hours with your children or with the family members. Even if you make it 30 minutes or 1 hour a day, and that 30 minutes and 1 hour, make it productive, make it qualitative, I think it sorts the purpose. So this is a message that I want to give everybody, that you will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. And we can always say that I don't have time, or we can keep complaining, you know, I'm not a bank account, I can't keep doing this. But what are we actually earning for? That we are earning to raise our family better, to, you know, have the right environment. We are working so that we can, you know, create that space for us in our future. So if we are not doing this right, so again, work smart, but work smart on the right things at the right time. Find out what is important to your child or your family member and try to accommodate that. But when will that happen? Now, if you see in the video, the mother was actually not able to do that because the mother was not able to take out time for her own self. Now, as a single parent, I face this almost every day. This is a struggle which I have, consciously trying to overcome every single day. Either it's going to be work or it's going to be your child, and both are equally important. So how do I be a happy mother? What I do in that case, if I have to say, what I do is I first keep myself happy. I make sure that my cup is full, so that when my child comes to me, I'm not throwing my frustration, throwing my guilt, throwing my shame on my child, throwing away my baggage on it. So if you really effectively want to give that half an hour to your child qualitatively, make sure you give yourself that qualitative time as a parent, as a person, leaving all the you is equal to other aspects aside, and only importance is you is equal to you. When you work on yourself, and when another person comes asking for your time, you will not be in an irritable mood. You will not be throwing away garbage and baggage left, right, and center. You will never find time for anything. If you want it, you must make it. Again, some things can wait. Okay. And if you wanted to wait, tell them I will come back to you at this time. Give them a deadline so that they know, they don't keep nudging you. What we fail is come back to me later. This is a very simple thing. But that come back to me later, they would have come to us 5 times. And then we're like, why are you irritating us? I told you, no, come back to me later. But did we specify the later? No. So specify it. In your rightful communication, you can manage your time, you can manage yourself. We spoke about the bad news. Now here comes the good news. You are the pilot, right? So you are the pilot, the journey, the drive, everything is in your hand. It's how you do it. And it will be different for every person to person. This is going to vary. So find out what works for you. Maybe X works for you, Y works for your family. Try to collaborate the X and Y. Okay. Don't try to change yourself to accommodate yourself to somebody else's needs fully, but change yourself to accommodate to your needs fully. Manage yourself, everything else will work out. So good news is you are the pilot. Reference of 2 concepts, time management matrix and Pareto analysis, was taken by the time management is by Dr. Stephen Covey, a very beautiful book, and put first things first. And Pareto analysis by Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian. And with this, I'm going to end my session. And a big thank you to all of you for listening to me, for hearing me out, and for giving me a chance to make a little impact in your life. If truly you feel that this session made an impact for your life, please do drop a feedback. These are my contact details. And just note it down or take a picture on your phone so that it's there with you all the time. And again, as I say, importance, how much we give. So when we meet somebody and we feel that, okay, this has really worked out for me, I need to get back to that person, and we say, I will get back later, that later never comes. So I always feel that later never comes. So take out your phone, save the contact details, write out your feedback to me so that it is there on your mind that, feedback is a very important part. And when we communicate rightly, you save on a lot of time. And if any of you need any help with regard to your own life, please approach somebody who is a professional, somebody who can help you navigate it. Do not try to sort it out by your own self or by your friends, or do not guide your children to do the same. You may have the best advice for your child or for your family member, but that best advice may not be the best advice for them, because what is good for them, you may even not know. They may also not know. We need a structured approach to identify what is their higher purpose and what is best to them. So each one's best is going to vary. So a request, I'm saying this out of my own understanding that I'm a parent, and I don't want to restrict my children from, achieving their dreams by saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. I know the best for you. And I've grown up in environment where people are always conditioning. The generation is always conditioning the others. So it's a very small request to all of you that please try to understand the other person and try to go about with it. If you learn to do the self-management, you will be able to do it for your family also, and they will be able to do it for themselves looking at you. And time will never be a constraint. Time will never be a bad news. It will always come as a good news. So with this, I take leave, and I leave you with a very beautiful thought that time, you have to make time. And trauma is given by other people, yes, definitely, but it is affecting us. So healing that trauma is our responsibility, and managing yourself is your responsibility. So embrace peace and empower you. Thank you so much. Any questions? Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for explaining topic in simplifying way and for the presentation. So now I request all the participants and delegates, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask directly to the ma'am, or you can put your questions in the chat box as well.
You can raise your hand so that I know, and I can ask you to unmute, or you can unmute and ask or speak or share your experience. Even if you don't have questions, you can share your experience. Yes, Rajeshji, you can.
How to improve organization work environment?
Pardon me?
How to
I can't hear you. You're mute.
how to improve organization work environment?
As we shared, no, so many things. If you organize yourself, I think your staff and your work will be already organized. You start with decluttering your space physically. You start after you declutter your space, you work on productivity, you work on tools and techniques that will, I think I took you through all of that. So all of that comes under work environment. Make a time management matrix, organize your staff, organize your people, organize your client, use those particular tools and techniques which are available online apps, which will help you scheduling your work. So all of that will help you in your organization, all of which we discussed, I think. Yes, Dominic.
Thank you.
Thank
First
you.
of all, thank you so much, madam, for this wonderful, this wonderful session. It was really helpful, inspiring, and there are you have mentioned in your profile that you do energy healing also.
Yes,
So,
yes,
I mean, would you
say? So when we talk about energy healing, I feel that it's always a mental, emotional, and spiritual, body, mind, and soul. We say that, right? So
Right.
when we work on our mind and emotions, we do go through a transformation, but the transformation is not complete. Like when we say a 360-degree transformation, that has to end at the soul level, because we are all made up of energy in the first place. And even though mentally and emotionally we heal, but patterns exist and they keep coming back to you in different forms. Any trigger that comes to you will get you back to a pattern. So when you heal it energetically from your spirit, from your energy system, when you're able to remove that, create a void and fill the void with what you need, I think that works the best. So when you're able to do it at the soul level, that's when you embrace peace. That's why the Blissful Navigator is all about embracing peace and empowering you. When you're peaceful, we all want peace in life ultimately. So those energetic blockages in our life are not helping us get in that peaceful zone, right? So we work on that piece. So I do 3 modalities of healing: pendulum dowsing, and Lama Fera, it's a Buddhist methodology, and card reading. Using my dowsing, we just connect, and I think more details you can get back to me. My contact details are there, Dominic, or anybody who's interested to know, you can personally give me a text and I will be able to help you with that. Yes?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Anandji. You have to unmute.
Okay. Namaste and good morning all. I am just watching your video session in the last 1.5 hours from Azerbaijan, from Republic of Azerbaijan, Baku city.
Okay.
Really giving a value addition, especially people like me who are in the senior management level, know how to cope up with the time, especially when you are doing a multitasking activity for your organization. So this really giving a lot of inputs where this can be really applied to the workplaces, and not only to me. I will just pass on certain points which I already noted on my notebook, which I'll be passing through my team and discussing with my internal trainings with them. So, and I also thank you to the IECS for having this wonderful session. And looking forward, if anything will be there, I will be in touch with you through LinkedIn, and looking forward to have such session. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much for your genuine feedback. Would love for you to write your feedback and send also in any of my number or anywhere. So it'll be great, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to ask some question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, first of all, compliments, and it was very good presentation, Pooja ji,
Thank you.
and really you kept us on our toe. And as usual, we try to do multitasking, but then you find that your focus is lost. You can't have quality to what you are told. That's a true. And Anandji, nice to see you joining all the way from Amazon as the one. And also Kishorji, thank you very much for your motivation. Continue with us so long, and you have been supporting us and providing the very good, eminent speakers. So, well, my question is that 2-3, when you told me to jot down a lot of things, which I jotted down 7-8 things, and then I tried to prioritize. And then I came up with a very funny thing. I don't know whether how long I should be successful. First of all, I told what we receive from the country, we should give it back. That was my first thing. How to give it, of course, we have to work it out. Then second priority was share your experience. Whatever you have enriched experience, like you have given your experience through your heart. Means you have practically done it, and then like getting up in the Brahm Muhurat time, and then doing the meditation, and then means you being a chartered accountant, and you went to new field of training people. That was good thing. Compliment for that one. And really, it was good. We are going to call you again and again for our lectures, which will continue. Then other thing which I thought, the third point, which was social work activities. Because that is also, we have been doing something, but we had to spend more time. We have to prioritize. Because that is what I thought I must share with you. And my question is, how to motivate people? Like this, I brought a lot of experience with me from working with multinational and from Japan and other countries also. When it comes to India, when you talk to your people, and it's very difficult to motivate them. And though they will be attending these programs and other things, when they want to, they don't implement, they don't follow. So how to make them to follow us, our state of mind and our way of working? Because whatever practically you are given, that's and another thing in India, which I have second question, they will always give you excuse. They react, they don't act. When you ask them for anything, their excuse is on their tip, on their tongue. So these two questions, can you elaborate?
Yes,
How
I
to-
can. I can.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
I'll start with the second question. When they make excuses, I'm going to start with the second question because that was when they make excuses, you always ask them one question and leave them with that one question. I think right motivation is not about talking too much, but right motivation is about leaving them with an idea. That idea should, kind of stick in their head, that they need to start working on it with their own motivation. So motivation, whenever it is received from outside, it stays very temporary. As you said rightly, people will come, attend sessions, and they will go. And they will think, I'm going to work on it. They will not, right? So that's why in the time management matrix, I've specifically mentioned now is highlighted. Either you do it now, either you delegate it now, either you decide now when to do it later, or you dump it now. You choose whatever you have to do is now. So when you are motivating, sir, what ideally I think you should say is, if you really want to bring a change in other people's life, the only change you should focus on is yourself. Okay, so like I said, emphasizing that part where, it says you is equal to you. If you can be the change, that is the biggest motivation. People will not need motivation any after that. You can just be that change. And secondly, when they are making excuses, ask them one question. What is the outcome that you want? I usually have this technique called E plus R is equal to O. E is your event, R is your reaction or your response, and O is your outcome. So if you want a particular outcome, You have to work on, you can only work on these two aspects, E or R. Now, out of the E and R, which is variable and which is fixed, event happening is not in your hand. Events will happen, situations will come, circumstances will come. But what is in your hand is the response or the reaction you are doing, you're doing towards that event. So if you change that, your outcome will change. So always ask yourself before you react or respond, before you make the excuse, ask yourself, is this the outcome that I want? If I want this outcome, my conversation should be based on that response or that reaction. So if I want to change, but I'm making an excuse, I cannot get that change. So I have to get rid of that excuse and replace it with what I can do to get that outcome. I think that's the key. If everybody follows this one simple formula and they start taking 100% responsibility of their own lives instead of the pity patty mode that they are going in, where we are, sympathizing with people and we are connecting with so many people, all you have to do is just take responsibility of your life. Each one of us takes a responsibility for our own lives. I think life is sorted. Everything else works and falls in place. So if you want to find a solution, like I said in my story, struggle, solution, and success. Everybody is going through struggles. I can also make 101 excuses and sit with that. But if I want to change my success story, I have to come and bridge that gap between my struggle and my solution and my success. That is the solution. So who has to work on the solution? It's affecting me. So I'm going to be working on it by myself. It's as simple as that. So only motivation that we need to give them is, I'm the change that I want to be and I want to give to people. And I am taking responsibility of my own life. If you want to make that outcome and that change, you need to take responsibility of your own life. If each one of us think like that, the entire world will change without we working on that change. I hope I have given you the answer to what you actually wanted.
Yeah. Also, that has to do something with the work culture also.
Yes.
You go to Western countries or you go to Japan or other places, people follow their bosses and their vision and their objectives. And then it becomes easy to implement and take them to the get the best performance out of them.
Yes.
Thank you. Really, I enjoyed
Thank you
your
so much.
section. Thank you.
Yes, Sumitji.
Namaste, ma'am, and amazing oratorship, amazing command. I don't have a question, just a honest feedback. Amazing oratorship, super command over the subject. It was a treat to the ear and unparalleled presentation techniques. Amazing, ma'am. A lot to learn from you. Look forward to more such sessions. It was an honor having you here on this session. Really an honor, ma'am. Honored.
Thank you so much.
Lot to learn, and
it was an honor for me to be invited for this. It's very
amazing.
grateful.
Really enjoyed the session. Amazing. Everything can be commendable, right from your Blissful Navigator logo. It's a treat to the eyes. Amazing, man. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Anandji.
I want to add that as Dr. Sundar Kataria ji added certain things. See, in the Western countries now, especially I am now out of the India now working. Yes, these countries follow the procedures at the workplace and the things are moving. No, there are certain challenges, as you said, the motivations and other things. Work is going. What I added in the past, especially after the pandemic period, we added many soft skills trainings to our training plan in the organizations, with especially targeting to the communication skills, and the speaking skills, and how to know in the emotional bondings and all sort of soft skills trainings we added. And and we sit in a group of maximum 4 or 5 people, so that an effective way of doing the process takes place and we get a better result. And to be very honest, we are getting the results, and that reflecting at the workplace by having the increased productivity. So this is just want to share. So I added to the Dr. Sundarji.
Thank you so much. Yes, any other questions, any other things anybody wants to say? Yes. Can we have everybody, switch on their videos? At least I would like to see who are the people who attended the session. It'll be a great. Okay. Yes. Can I have everybody show me that big broad smile? I think energy is the key, and if we've all stayed through the entire 1.5 hours, we need to show our faces, right? The smiling faces. How will I know whether it actually impacted you or not? Unless I see that broad smile on your face. So yes, I would like everybody to get that big broad smile on their face. Yes, I can see that. Still some people are not there, but thank you so much for being a part, and thank you ICS for bringing me here. And it was a treat to me to have all of you people here and listening to me. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Do keep in touch. And if there is anything that you feel like telling me or giving a feedback, please feel free to give feedback. I often stress more on the feedback because we are all lifelong learners. And if there is anything that we can learn more from somebody else, we should take that opportunity. And know that it is a process for a lifetime and it's a work in progress. And we are all growing together. So do drop in your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact me, Shushma Kindalkar, on the given contact details. Feedback form, please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give your valued feedback to us. So thank you, Pooja ma'am. Thank you all the participants and delegates for being the part of today's webinar. So now it's time to officially close the session. Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone.